Morning everyone. Morning, very nice to see you. I'm a bit slow today. I'm setting myself up and I'm a bit useless. I'm thinking, how can I prop up my son has still stolen my my thingamabob, my phone holder. So I'm a bit of at a strange angle. There we go. Oh, morning Lynn, nice to see you. Morning Alex B. Oh, well, this is the first live I've done in a while, Alex B. So I'm really glad that you're here. I'm glad that anyone's here, to be honest with you. I thought it would have been very, very easy for everyone to forget that I've even existed. How are you doing? Are you all right? Hope you're well. Oh, Kazi, nice to see you. Midsummer Eve. Well, happy Midsummer's Eve to you in Sweden. Lynn, yeah, well, I've been away. So we got a last minute deal and went to Greece, and I spent 2 weeks just sleeping, reading, swimming. It was lovely, very nice. Oh, Hannah, well, I'm glad that you're here, and hopefully you can just get calmer and calmer as the live goes on. I hope you're all right. Gosh. So how have you all been? It's been ages since I've been on here. So I went on holiday at the beginning of June. So it's been probably 3 weeks since I've done a live. So how are you all? Are you all right? Morning, Kazi. Nice to see you. Oh, who's that? Holly Scarlett, I'm watching you at work. I love it. I love it when people do sort of sneaky Skyby watching at work TikToks. We all do it, don't we? I mean, when I don't do it. I do it, not when I'm seeing clients, though. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? But it's very nice. Oh, hello, Jen. How is your job at the vet's going? I remember you going for your interview and you got it. Let me know how it's going. Are you enjoying it? What sort of animals do you deal with? Morning, Julie Reese Diva from California. Very nice to see you. Yeah. See, I don't mind. So Holly's saying that it's been a tiring week with the weather. And I really love the hot weather, I have to say. So I'm lucky like that. But if you're tired by it, I can understand that completely. I just slow everything down when it's hot weather. But I hope it gets better. Well, if I'm saying it, I hope it gets better for you. If it gets better for you, then maybe that means it's going to rain. I don't want it to rain. Maybe a little bit cooler for you. Ah, Kazi, that's very nice. I missed all of you as well. It's funny because I posted yesterday because I've just felt really, really tired, and I just haven't had the sort of get up and go to be doing social media. I've been doing a little bit of Instagram, but it's been a struggle to think of, to be doing TikTok really. But actually coming on doing the live is really enjoyable because it's like I'm interacting with you in real time. So I can see your comments and see you popping up here, which is really nice. So, it's quite a lot of people on today. Welcome everyone. Oh gosh, it's really nice to see you all. Let's have a look. So, let's see. Oh, Alex, I had some bad blood test results recently, but I've been doing a good job at not catastrophizing. Well done. Well done. I think it is normal, that our brain does leap out to the future, and it's sort of helping us to strategize, to, think, what do I do if this is happening or that's happening? So it's normal, but if you can limit it and manage it as best you can, then that's really great. So I hope you're all right, Alex. Yeah, it's tricky. Hopefully I think sometimes one of the worst things is when you've got stuff going on and you don't know quite what it is. Whereas if you know, then you can have a plan of attack, can't you? So that's a good thing. But I'm thinking of you, sending you big hugs. Jen. So Jen was just saying, because Jen came on a live and she needed some advice. She was going for a job interview and she got the job interview. She's working at a vet's. and she's saying, I absolutely love it. It's amazing. Been there, oh my God, 9 months it's been. That time flies, doesn't it? Small furry animals, dogs, cats, hamsters. Oh, how lovely. That is so cool, isn't it? I'm really happy. That's one of the things I really love, is that, you know, people come on here and people ask for help and advice. And it's so brilliant when, you know, if I've given some thoughts or advice on stuff, and then you come back and say, oh, actually stuff is going really well, or like you did, that you got the job. That's so good. I love it. Really good. Yeah, so Lynn's saying that the heat exhausts her too. Gosh, yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It is hard. I think I'm just one of those people that really likes the heat, so I'm lucky like that. Morning, Maddie. Maddie S. Wright from America as well. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I'm well, thank you. I was saying I'm tired. I think I've got like the holiday blues. You know, when you come back from holiday, and I've just felt over the last few days a bit like, oh, you know, because I think as well, I'm sort of stuck at home because my son has been borrowing my husband's car, and my husband has been using my car. So I've been a bit stuck here. I've not been able to get out and about. So I've just been like in here, in this room, doing work, catching up with work. Seeing my clients is the really enjoyable bit of my work. The stuff that I don't really enjoy is all the admin, and I seem to spend a lot of time here doing that. Oh, really. Anyway, but apart from that was a bit of a rant, wasn't it? I'm good, thank you. Let's have a look. Thank you so much for lovely roses. You're very kind. Let me have a little look at some more. The comments come flying by, and I don't want to miss any. So Shane's Tumblr Creations, sending love and positivity to an amazing person. Have a blessed life. Thank you very much. What a lovely thing to say. Thank you. So we've got some questions coming in. Let me get my little book and I can write them down, because I find that it's easier to write the questions down, and then I don't forget, and then when I put this on my YouTube, then I can write down exactly what the questions have been. So Denise, hello Denise, hope you're all right. Denise is asking, what do you do when you can't clear your mind at night and it keeps you up? That's such a good question. So I'll come back to that. Because I think that's something that a lot of people suffer with. My brother messaged me the other day and he said, I just cannot sleep at night. My brain is going around and around and around with all the things that I need to do. So, so looking at this, Brat in the Hat, Taylor's version. Brat in the Hat. Brat in the Hat. I like what you're doing there. Sorry, I thought it was some strange Eastern European name, and it's Brat in the Hat. You must have children. I feel your pain. So how do you stop your mind from spiraling? So that's quite similar, isn't it? In some ways to Denise's point about clearing your mind when your brain is going at night time. So that's a really good question. Hopefully that will be dealt with when I answer Denise's as well. Let me quickly just introduce myself to you. If you're turning up and you're thinking, who am I? Who's this woman? Well, I'm Sarah, and I'm a QCH therapist, and that stands for Quest Cognitive Hypnotherapy. And I work with people mostly who have anxiety. So, and I've been doing this TikTok for the last nearly a couple of years now, answering questions every Friday on the live about what's going on for people, just giving maybe a little bit of advice, maybe sharing some techniques. Sometimes we do practical stuff. I'm thinking probably next week what I'll do is I'll do a practical live. So let me know if that's something that you would enjoy, doing some sort of practical coping, calming techniques. I'm joined by my lovely moderators, and today I know that Jasmine can't be with us today, which is a shame, but it's absolutely fine because my lovely moderators do have lives, and it amazes me that they're here as often as they are. But we do have the lovely Lynn, who is a fantastic moderator. All of my moderators have been with me right from the start. I think the very first live that I did, Lynn said, "Would you like a moderator?" I was like, "I don't even know what a moderator is, but let me find out about it and come back to you." And she's been here all the time. So I'm so grateful. Lynn is here. I've not seen, sometimes Vicky is here, Vicky Hodson. She's another fantastic moderator, and Jasmine. They're not therapists, but they have life experience and they're just really kind people. So they just help me to keep an eye out with the comments, make sure that everyone's being kind, really. So, because I imagine a lot of people, if you're coming along to a live about anxiety, you've probably got stuff going on in your life which is enough to deal with without having, trolls or people being a bit mean. So we don't have any of that here. I'm not really going to engage in all of that. So I'm very grateful for their presence. So going back here to Jen's saying that she's working in the vets now, and it's absolutely perfect. It really helps her anxiety, and animals are her therapy. Do you know, that's so true, isn't it? I think therapy. I have a lot of colleagues who actually have therapy animals, mostly dogs, but I think it is a very soothing thing to have an animal. I'll be totally honest with you. I am not an animal person. I like horses, and the only dog that I like is my son and his girlfriend's dog Coco, and she is a bit sweet. I do have a bit of a soft spot for her, but yeah. But I can totally appreciate that animals are really helpful. Let's have a look. So 5 months self-harm. Oh, Leonora, nice to see you. Really nice to see you. 5 months self-harm free, furthest I've got ever in 5 years. Well done. That is such an amazing achievement. Thank you for sharing that, and keep up the good work. That's excellent news. Thank you so much for all of you who are following me. It's really great. If you feel that you're interested in this, if you're interested in information about anxiety, my thoughts on various things, then, if you want to follow me, then that's wonderful. It really helps the live. If you double tap the screen and just do that every now and again, or sit there going blah, 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 then that shows the algorithm on TikTok that this is something that people are finding interesting, and they'll send it to other people. Also, you can do that if you want to tap that share button and send this to someone that you think might be interested or it might be helpful to, then, you're really welcome to do that. But no pressure about anything. Please do not subscribe to me, because everything that we do here is free. I earn my living from being a therapist, and so I have paying clients, but all the stuff I do on social media is all completely free. If you look on my profile, my bio, there's a link to lots of free resources there. My website, the Quest Hub, stuff like that. So do have a little look. Let's have a look, scrolling through. Let's have a look. Okay, and so Sama is saying, what degree did you do to be a therapist? I'm thinking of doing psychology. So that's a really good question. So I'm going to make a note of that and I'll come back to that. And as Lynn, thank you, Lynn. Lynn's answered there about doing Quest Cognitive Hypnotherapy training. So I'll deal with that a little bit in a second. And so, and Isha is saying, I get anxiety with family. That's really tricky, isn't it? I was chatting to my client yesterday, and we were talking about how it's really important for us to fit in, isn't it, with people. And sometimes when we feel that we don't fit in or feel that there's friction there, it's such an uncomfortable feeling. It's really horrible. So I'm sorry that you're feeling that. we can't choose our family, can we? It's really important that we are social creatures, so to find our tribe, to find the people that we really like and we feel accepted and seen by is very important. Sometimes it takes time to do that, and sometimes our family are not those people. Janazy, that's a good question, Janazy. Let me just write this down. Have you tips for to stop waking up with anxiety? Okay, so that's a good question. So I'll try and get through as many questions as I can. I try and my answers will be probably a bit general, but yeah, I'll do my best for you. So let's go to Denise's question. Denise asked about how to clear her mind at night and the fact that she can't sleep. Brat in the Hat, I think that was your name, asked a similar sort of thing about the mind spiraling with thoughts. And I think that's something that's very natural. It's very normal that we have our day and we get to the end of the day and it's quiet and it's dark and our brain suddenly goes, right, now I can start thinking about all the stuff that I'm worried about. And it's a horrible feeling, but it's natural to do. So one of the things that you can do is to just create a really nice gradual sort of slope down to going to sleep, so that you don't just go from being really active, really busy on your phone, bright lights and everything, to suddenly being, all right, now I need to sleep, because your brain is still buzzing. So if you follow what is the natural way of things in the universe of light, dusk falls, it gets darker, what is really helpful is to slowly slow down, to really not be looking at any screens after, well, as early as possible really, but definitely not after 8 p.m. And I think another thing to do is that often if you look at your daytime, what's going on in your daytime, that can be really helpful. So if you work on your anxiety in the daytime, and on my grid, so on my page, there's like loads and loads and loads of videos all about information on anxiety, different types of anxiety, different types of fears, what you can do about them, various practical techniques, breath techniques, visualization techniques that you can use to help yourself. So perhaps if you had a look at those and you could think about those during the day, then that can be really helpful. One of the pinned posts that I've got, well, actually all 3 pinned posts would be helpful with this particular thing. But what I'm thinking of is there's a thing called spinning, and I think in the pinned post I've got a black top on, and that is a technique that involves visualization, and it means that you are giving your focus to something else. So I explain it in the video, so I won't explain it here, but that could potentially be quite helpful. Another thing you can do is, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, I've got all of these things going around my mind, just to have a piece of pen and paper and physically write them down. And then once they're all written down, fold it up, put it in an envelope or put it in your bedside drawer, something like that, and tell yourself, okay, I am going to deal with these in the morning. Right now, this is not the time. I've done something about it. I've taken action. I've written it all down. I've put it in my drawer. Now I'm going to maybe do the spinning technique or do another technique that suits you nicely. And then in the morning when you wake up, probably what you'll find is you'll look at your list, and a lot of them you'll be thinking, what was I thinking? That's like, I've had thoughts in the past in the evening where I've been thinking stuff, and I look at it in the morning and think, what was I thinking? That's just totally beyond the realms of possibility. So you can just cross those out, and then you'll find things where you think, oh yeah, that's genuine worry. What can I do about that? So that you take action during the day and you tick those things off. So you tick off the stuff that was worrying you, or cross it out, and that can be really helpful. So I hope that helps you, Denise, and helps you too, Brat in the Hat. let me know if you think that that might be of help to you, because that's really helpful for me to know. Let's have a look. Just scrolling through, lots of comments here. So yeah, and I can see some more questions coming. So okay, so let me just crack on with the next one. So Sama asked a question about what degree I did, or what training. So it really depends on what sort of therapy you want to do. I'm a Quest cognitive hypnotherapist. For that, we get people, as full disclosure, as they say, I'm the training manager at the Quest Institute, and at the Institute we train people and we interview everybody. But the great thing about our training is that you don't actually have to have a degree or anything like that. We look at people and we go, a lot of people have got really good real life experience, and so if for people who want to come along and train as a QCH therapist, it's perhaps easier to do than if you wanted to be, a psychologist, something like that. Obviously to be a psychologist, you need really to have a degree in psychology. If a psychiatrist, you've got to be a qualified medical doctor. To be a counsellor, that's a lot of training. It costs thousands of pounds. I remember my next door neighbour was looking at training to be a counsellor, and he looked at it and it was like £10,000 to be a counsellor. It's nothing like that to do the work that I do. For me, it's about finding the right sort of therapy that you believe in and that you want to do, and then finding the course that suits you best. Do not waste your money on courses that are quick fixes. If someone tells you that they can train you to be a therapist in a weekend or a fortnight or even a couple of months, then I would run a mile from those sorts of courses. What you need, our course is 11 months long, and then you can go on and become a master practitioner. That's another 8 months of study. You have to pass exams, you have to do case studies, you have to write essays. Although the learning is online with us, there is lots and lots of practical hours spent working with people, with fellow students and with practice clients to hone your skills, really. And also for the first 3 years, when you qualify, you have to have supervision. What that means is that you have a really experienced therapist that you meet with every month to 6 weeks to discuss cases, to discuss how it's going for you, and they keep you on track. So personally, I do have a degree, but my degree has nothing really to do with the therapy. My degree was in English literature, but yeah, we have all sorts of people, from stay-at-home mums to builders to other counsellors who are adding to their skill set. All sorts of people can train. So I hope that answers your question. Let's have a little look, scroll through. Thank you so much for all of you joining us here today. It's really nice to see you. I am joined by, as always, my lovely moderator, Lynn 250, who's keeping this a nice, safe space and also answering some of your questions. I can see that Lynn is typing away there, answering questions, perhaps for the comments that I've not seen. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, if you give me a follow, that would be great. But obviously, no pressure. It's really helpful if you tap the screen and send likes, then that will send this to more people. The algorithm likes it if lives are liked, but no pressure. If you don't like it, that's okay. I understand. Let's see. Okay. So I'm just going to write another couple of questions down. Hello, paramedic Chris Kisbooks. Oh, nice to see you. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Hang on. That's so nice. I do love a cup of tea. So there's a question here from Tracy about how to stop a panic attack. So there's various videos that I've done on panic attacks, which are on my grid. There's also categories at the bottom of the grid that you might want to have a little look at. But I will come to that in more detail in a moment, Tracy, if that's all right. How are we all doing? Are you okay, everyone? There's another question here from Joanne Chelsea Tink. Can you please share some tips for hitting a slump and being unproductive, leading to more anxiety? So that's a good question. I don't think I've had that one before. So tips on hitting a slump. Okay. And being more anxious. Okay, I should come back to that. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Lynn. So Lynn's talking to Tracy and saying that there's lots of... So I don't know whether you're having a panic attack now, but let me just jump to that one just in case. So with a panic attack, it can feel really scary, but please don't be afraid of it, because all it is that you've had stuff that has been building up and your nervous system has been sending messages to you, trying to let you know that your nervous system believes that there's some sort of threat there. And there might be threat or there might not be. It might be something that you've matched to and been triggered by an event in the past. So it's never going to physically hurt you. It just feels that way because your brain is trying to get you to move away from a situation as best it can. So the physical things that you're feeling is all to do with the adrenaline and cortisol that have been released into your body. So if you're with someone else, then that can be really helpful because you can connect. Let's say these are your two nervous systems. If you can connect with someone else, then in real life, that's really helpful. If you want to connect with me here and now, then that can be helpful too. So it's a case of just giving your focus to what's going on here and now with me and noticing that, my breath is calm and I feel calm. And so hopefully that can help your nervous system to feel calm too. So it's knowing that it will pass and slowing everything down. Not trying to think your way out of it. Probably the best way we can bring ourselves out of a panic attack is by our breath. So what we can do is we can make our vision slightly unfocused. So just stare off into the half distance, maybe stare out of the window and then concentrate on your out breath. So what we're going to do is we're just going to breathe out. So breathe out and then just breathe in naturally. And then breathe out again. And just, you will breathe in naturally. When I did one particular course, something that I learned was what they called a one-winged seagull, which seemed ridiculous to me. If you imagine that this is my wing and I'm breathing out. Oh, you can't see. I'm going to go like this. Breathe out and breathe in. Breathe out. Pushing out with your tummy muscles. And breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And just slow everything down. And if you can become aware of your muscles, it may well be that your muscles are quite tight. And so just begin to loosen those. So it may well be that your fists are clenched. If you can, just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Just beginning to slow everything down. Just be aware of where are your shoulders. If you can bring those down. You feel the need to yawn, that's a really good sign. Maybe you might feel the need to sigh. Again, that's a really good sign. just slowing everything down and knowing that it will pass. And it will just take as long as it takes. It's all right. And then it may well be that there was something specific that triggered you into a panic attack, in which case, what can you do about that? Can you remove yourself? If you're at work and there's someone at work that's giving you a panic attack, maybe take yourself outside, be with someone that you trust. They're all things that can be helpful. Just try not to make anything too complicated, because our brains don't function very well when we're in a panic attack, because it's a purely somatic thing, So I hope that helps a little bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, so yawning is good. Let's have a little look. So, okay. So I've just seen a question here from Hayley. Just joined. Sorry for ignorant question, but what does QCH stand for? Well, not ignorant at all. Why would you know? Hardly anyone knows about QCH. QCH stands for Quest Cognitive Hypnotherapy. So, and the Quest bit is the Quest Institute, which is a training school. We're based in London, but our training is available to anyone around the world. It's something that we've been running for about 23 years now. They started in the year 2000, a husband and wife team, Trevor and Bex Sylvester. I joined a couple of years ago as training manager, but I trained with them 7 odd years ago now. And it's really a framework. It's very successful. We run a research study to show the success of the work that we do. We know our limits. We don't work with people who are perhaps suffering from psychosis, things like personality disorders or schizophrenia, that sort of stuff. Because that just requires a greater depth of training to be able to help you well than what we do. But we do help people with anxiety, with depression, with addictions, with fears. I know that I have colleagues that work with people who have fertility issues, all sorts of things really. And it's just an amazing place. It's totally changed my life. I don't just practice as a QCH therapist. I live it, because it's a way of looking at the world. It's kind of stoic and steady. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Let's have a look at some other questions. Thank you so much for joining us here, for following. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Maya says, after I have a panic attack and get really worked up, I have to take a deep breath every few minutes. Yeah, so that's the thing, is when you have a panic attack, what happens is you're flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, your heart starts to beat really quickly, and your breathing changes. You become very up here, very like this, because you're trying to get as much oxygen into your system as is physically possible to get the oxygen to your big muscles so that you can either fight your way out of a situation or run away, remove yourself from it. And sometimes, we can't do either of those things. So sometimes our system will just shut down and we'll go into freeze or flop. So let's have a little look. So I'm going to go back now to, Janazi. I hope I said your name right, Janazi. Janazi. You were talking about waking up with anxiety, and I think a lot of people have this, don't they? That they wake up in the middle of the night feeling really anxious, and it's a horrible thing. Sleep can be really affected by anxiety, and it's really the thing that we need to do about it is Well, there's two things. So in the moment when you wake up, there are my pinned posts. There's 3 pinned posts on my grid of my page, and all 3 of those can be really, really helpful to deal with when you if you wake up in the middle of the night, or if you can feel yourself starting to feel anxious at any time of the day. All 3 of those approach from different angles, giving your brain a sense of distraction, but also working at a somatic, a bodily level, so that your muscles are softened, your gaze is softened, your breathing is slowed, your out breath becomes nice and long rather than that. Because if your nervous system finds you softened, relaxed, breathing slowly, then it will go, oh, okay, well, we must be safe. So I'm all right now. So you can do that in the middle of the night to help yourself in the moment. But generally what will be happening is that you're asleep and your brain is working out all of the stuff that's been happening to you in the day. And maybe it's just too much and you reach overwhelm. And so then you wake up and you feel really, really anxious and maybe even having a panic attack in the middle of the night. So the good thing to do is to look at your life. What has been happening in your life in the time recently leading up to it. Now, and I say this again and again, that we have all had so much stuff going on in our lives. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we have had COVID, we have had global warming, we've had Ukraine, we've had financial disasters going on. There's so much, never mind the stuff that's personal and individual to you. So it's not surprising. Our normal just becomes our normal, and we think, oh, what am I getting anxious about? Because my life is okay, and well, it may well look on the surface to be okay, but probably you've had a whole load of stuff going on, and we can deal with this thing and this thing and this thing, but that other thing that turns up, which might not seem like very much, but it's a straw that breaks the camel's back. And so it's about looking at lifestyle and going, how can I simplify? How can I help myself? How can I give myself self-care during the course of the day? So I have like a little oasis of time where I just have time for me, or I have time connecting to the people that make me feel good, or I have time just 5 minutes in the garden with a cup of tea, breathing, listening to the birds. That can make a world of difference. Because instead of your adrenaline and cortisol levels being up here, all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're down here. So even if something happens to trigger you, you're being triggered from down here, and you'll go, ooh, rather than being up here and going, ah, and, being in overwhelm. So I hope that helps a little bit. Do go and have a look at my page. I'm just going to scroll through some of these. So someone, that flew by. Someone was asking about, do I have experience with DBT? No, I don't. I'm not trained in that. So I'm afraid I can't really give any thoughts on that. Let's have a look. I love it. I love that there's so many comments. My apologies that I do try to, answer as many as I can. Oh, okay. This is interesting. So Georgia Taylor, is there any opportunities to get involved in the research? I work as an assistant psych in the NHS. We are looking for someone to do a PhD on it. So if you are interested, get in touch with me, drop me a message. I don't know if you are looking at doing a PhD, or if you know anyone who's doing a PhD, but we've done this pilot study and we need someone to take it on further. We have masses and masses of data because this has been going on. I mean, it was published in 2016, and we have continued the research, and we're looking for people we need someone to do a PhD on it. We are in the NICE directory, that's in the NHS, the sort of directory of possible treatments. But yeah, we need more. We need to get our name out there. and it's hard to do that. So yeah, do message me, Georgia, if you're interested in that, or if you know someone who'd be interested in that. We do have a specific research manager who I could put you in touch with. So let's have a look. Okay, user 7479. I'm just going through a failed IVF cycle. Heartbroken. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. That is just, it's hideous, isn't it? My brother went through IVF. I've got two brothers. They both went through IVF. One, they didn't manage to fall pregnant at all. The other one did eventually, fortunately. I had issues with fertility, and I didn't get as far as doing IVF. I was fortunate, but I know a little tiny bit of what you're going through, just that, every month, it not working, not happening. And I imagine it is totally exhausting for you. So let's have a look. So I think that right now you're in the midst of, it's trauma, isn't it? It's a traumatic situation. And right now, you don't have to make any decisions. You don't have to make that decision to do it all again. Right now, you're in a place where it's probably really low, really difficult. You've lost trust in your body, in the system. And so I would say tread water for a bit. Be kind to yourself for a little bit. There are things on my page that might help you, that self-care. When I say self-care, I don't mean sort of namby-pamby, like sitting in a bath with candles type of stuff. What I mean is the stuff that you can really look forward to doing, you really feel connected to and enjoy when you're doing it, and you can look back on with pleasure. The thing that gives you the release of the hormones that tell your nervous system you are present, you are safe, all is well. So to be able to do that, hopefully can just help you just get through this little bit. Try and be in the present moment as much as you can, because probably what's going on at the moment is your brain is rushing out into the future going, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this doesn't happen? How can I manage this? Right now, that hasn't happened yet. You don't need to deal with that. What matters is here and now, and just looking after you and your partner, So anyway, my heart goes out to you. Right, let me have a little look here. So there's a message here from Joanna saying, do I have tips on hitting a slump, and a slump that makes you feel more anxious? So when you talk about a slump, I don't really know what you mean by a slump, but maybe that sense of, maybe like a feeling of feeling low, feeling a bit hopeless, a bit that feeling of dread or doom. Oh, Isabella, you're very kind. Thank you, my lovely. And if that is what that is for you, then all of this is protective behaviour. It's your nervous system. What happens is that our nervous system is constantly scanning our environment for changes that are a potential threat, and that is externally and also internally. And if threat is perceived, if there is a perception of threat, so by that I mean that it could actually be real threat, that there is something that is really difficult and dangerous in your life right now, or it could be something that is matching to a time in your life where it was or felt like it was difficult and dangerous. And so you get thrown into protective response, and that can be anxiety. It can also be depression. It can be that sense of, if you think of our emotional day being when things are going well, we're at the top of our ladder, all is well, we're in flow, we feel happy and connected. If there's threat but we're still able to do something about it, then we're in the middle part we're in sympathetic nervous system, the middle part of our ladder, and that's where anxiety sits. So we're either ready to run away, don't go somewhere in the first place, or we get angry or annoyed about things. And then there's the bottom part of our ladder where we are in freeze or flop or fawn, and that is where depression sits. But they're all protective behaviours. So my thought is to have a little look, Joanna, about what's been going on for you in this period of time leading up to this, because that's what is the thing that needs to be dealt with and discussed, because if the root cause is dealt with, then there's no need for the protective behaviour, which is the depression, the slump, and the anxiety. So I hope that makes sense. Right, let's have a little look. Thank you so much for these questions. They're really, really good questions today. And thank you so much for all the likes that you're giving to this live. It's really kind of you and really helpful, because, as I say, it helps send the live to other people, which hopefully they will find it useful. Let's have a little look here to see what other comments have come through. So Harley's saying, one day I hope to live without having anxiety nearly every single day. Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason why you can't. Anxiety is a protective response. And once you deal with the root cause of the anxiety, and you look at your lifestyle, then you absolutely can be in a place where it doesn't have to be there anymore. Let's have a little look. Does anyone ever feel with anxiety that they're not breathing? Obvious we are, but feels we aren't. That's such a good question. So that's Jude. So the breathing definitely is affected by anxiety. When we go into fight or flight, our breathing really, really changes, and it can be really difficult to catch our breath. Quite often you see people giving well-meaning advice, saying, "Oh, take a deep breath," and it's really impossible to take a deep breath because you're going and your lungs are actually full of breath, but you're breathing rapidly. Sometimes it's not as pronounced as that. Sometimes you don't even realize that your breathing has changed. And so what is much more helpful is to do a longer out breath. If you have a look on my page at the bottom, there's a section about breathing techniques, and you might find that helpful. So maybe go and have a little look at that. I hope so. Let me make a little note. Okay. So let's have a little look. Oh, hello, Diamond Lady. Good afternoon. Coming late to the live. Well, welcome. I think that it's okay. We all have busy lives, don't we? But I'm really glad that you're here. So Freya Thorpe, you're saying, I always feel like I'm going to throw up when I have anxiety. And that's completely normal. So many people have that experience. And again, it's because what happens is our nervous system, when it believes us to be in danger, it shuts down everything that it sees as a luxury. So the digestive system is one of those things. So it doesn't want you to be eating. It doesn't want you to be digesting food, and sometimes that can make us feel nauseous. Also, our breathing, the change in our breathing can make us feel a bit sick as well. The breath techniques can help with this, long, slow breathing. The chances are you're not actually going to throw up, but sometimes people do. And it's just that protective thing. If you can look at your lifestyle, look about what's going on to trigger you into anxiety, and deal with that, then that can be helpful. And also some of the calming techniques that I share on my page, particularly the pin techniques, can be helpful because it distracts your brain, and it also sends physical messages to your nervous system that all is well, you are actually okay. So I hope that helps a little bit. Oh gosh, Angel Morphew. Anxiety of people around me dying after my dad has just passed. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry that you've lost your dad. That's just very, very difficult, isn't it? I think it's totally natural and normal that when that sort of thing happens, we lose trust, don't we? We lose faith in things that we've totally relied on. We rely on the fact that we're going to wake up each morning and that the people we love are going to wake up each morning and be there forever. But unfortunately, death is something that comes to us all. And we don't talk about it enough, I don't think, in our society. I think it's something that is important to talk about, because when you talk about it, it normalizes it, and you can work through your fears, because there's so many fears associated to it. I think also it's very natural that it's very much in the forefront of your mind because you're going through grief at the moment. So there's a really interesting article. If you go through my profile, there's a link on my profile page. And if you look at My Quest Hub, or if you just put into your search engine, bereavement and grief, QCHPA or My Quest Hub, there's a really good article written by a friend of mine, Jane Cowan, who is a really experienced grief counsellor and QCH therapist. And there's loads and loads of stuff in that article, lots of really interesting information, links to really helpful websites and apps and so on. So that might be helpful to you. But I'm sorry for your loss. It's really hard. The thing to understand is that this will change as time goes on. So the fear that you have now won't always be there. But it's really important to talk about it, because when we're dealing with stuff all on our own, it can be all encompassing, can't it? It can be a bit overwhelming. So I hope that helps a little bit. Let's have a look. So there's a couple here, people talking about emetophobia. So Ruby Rackham, I have emetophobia and it's ruining my life. I endure anxiety every day, every morning and night. Oh, that is so hard, Ruby. I really feel for you. I've done a few videos on emetophobia. For those of you who don't know, emetophobia is a fear of being sick, whether that's yourself or someone else. Everyone is different, and it comes from lots of different causes. It may well be that it's not actually about sickness at all. Sometimes it can be about control. It could be about fear. Sometimes it's about an experience that you've had or you've witnessed. So do go and have a little look at those, Ruby. There's a special section on emetophobia which I hope can help you. But it's a horrible feeling. I do feel for you. Don't struggle alone. I think it would be really helpful to talk to someone about it if you haven't already. And if you're interested in QCH therapy, it's not for everyone. It's the same as any therapy, that QCH works for lots of people. You know, the stats on our research study say that over the course of, the figures are over the course of 6 sessions where people came for help with anxiety or depression, 71% of people said that they were completely fine after 6 sessions, as compared to something like CBT, which has a success rate of only about 42%. So if you want to go and see a QCH therapist, there's a link, and there's the QCHPA therapist finder. So you can find there are hundreds of therapists that do QCH all over the UK, but also all over the world. So do go and have a little look if you're interested. Let's have a look. So I love the fact, the thing that I love about this community is the fact that everyone is so kind, and, people read the comments and reply to comments. And if people are struggling, people are really helpful and trying to be kind and helpful. And I love that. So thank you. Thank you for that. So we are coming close to getting to the end of our live. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. So Haley's saying here, can beta blockers prevent panic attacks? Well, I'm not medically qualified, so it's not right for me to really talk about medication. I think that if you're thinking of beta blockers, you really need to go and talk to your GP, have a good chat with them. Beta blockers work with your heart to slow your heart rate down. So, yeah, as I say, talk to your doctor about it. At the end of the day, what you want to do is find out the source of what's making you anxious. You don't want to just be putting a sticking plaster over it, because your nervous system is trying to send you a message, and the beating of your heart connected to the release of adrenaline into your system is normal. It's normal and natural, and if you don't pay attention to it, or if you try and block it, the anxiety is going to come out somewhere else. So I would say go and chat with your GP and see if you can find someone who can perhaps do talking therapy with you. But yeah, good question. Oh, Evie, you have prom tonight and I'm really nervous. Oh, bless you. How? Oh, do you know what? We never had proms because I'm so old. We never had proms, but both my boys went to their proms, and I totally get the fact that you can be feeling nervous about it. You will not be alone. You will not be the only one. I am sure that you will have an absolute blast. I wonder, there's some techniques. Have a look at my pins techniques. They can all help you to just lower the levels of anxiety that are going on there. And maybe ask yourself, be curious. I always say to my clients, be curious about what's going on for you. What is it particularly about the prom that you're worried about? Is it what you're wearing? Are you worried about the people there? Or what is it? And then you can, if you can narrow it down, then there's something you can do about that. Are you going with a group of friends? Are you meeting at someone's house before you go? It's always, it's nice, isn't it, to go with a group of other people. I don't know if you've got, I don't know, I'm totally ignorant of this, but maybe if you've got a date for your prom, then that's cool. Hopefully you can help and support one another. And if you haven't got a date, then that's absolutely fine. You can perhaps be with friends. You definitely won't be the only one who's feeling a bit nervous, because it's a big thing, isn't it? And it's something new. And what you'll find is that by the time you get there and you get involved and you're curious about everyone else, looking at what's everyone wearing, if you get dancing, all of that kind of stuff, then the anxiety will disappear so quickly that you won't believe it. Enjoy the build up to it. Enjoy, doing your makeup, doing your hair, doing your dress. Enjoy the fact that hopefully the people in your household are excited for you to be going to prom. If you can be as much in the moment, here and now, as possible, then that's really, really great. But I hope you have a lovely time. Come back and tell us how it went. Hey, that would be great. Okay. So I'm going to draw things to a close. I can see here there's Lauren is saying thoughts on coping with health anxiety. I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough time to go into that, but if you look on my page, there's pinned posts talking about health anxiety, so that may well be helpful for you. So Emily, thank you for being here. Emily Thomas just saying it's nice to be here for a little bit. If you've just dipped in, or if you're at work and you're having a sneaky TikTok moment every now and again, and you thought, oh, I quite like this, I've enjoyed it, but you've not been able to watch the whole live, then do not fear, because what I'm going to do is I will upload it to my YouTube channel, which is up here, Sarah Aries Therapy on YouTube. There is a link on my profile page, my YouTube, which you can have a look for. But what I'll do is I'll upload this. All of my lives that I've done are on my YouTube channel, and in the description of the lives there's like what I've talked about. I try, and that's one of the reasons I keep some notes, is so that you can see what I've been talking about. So if you're thinking, oh, I want to see about health anxiety, you can have a look where it is. Okay, so hopefully I've just seen this. So magnetic pull, please cover benzos and tolerance sometime soon, please. I'm afraid I don't know anything about that. That's not something that I have knowledge on, and it wouldn't be right for me to talk about something that I don't know about. So I'm so sorry. My apologies for that. I would say go and have a chat with your doctor if you're struggling with that. Oh, sorry, I'm not laughing at you at all, Magnetic Pull. I was laughing at Emily Thomas's comment here saying, how did you know this was a sneaky TikTok break? Perks of working from home. I know, my phone is surgically attached to me most of the time, so I love TikTok, but I think a lot of us just dip in and out, don't we? I was watching, so someone said to me about this lady, North Omaha cat lady, and she was live yesterday. I was dipping in and out of her live. I can never stay for very long, so I totally understand people dip in and out. But if you want to see more, then have a look at the YouTube. Okay. Right. So, thank you so much for being here. It's been just really lovely seeing you all again. Let me double check my diary, because I'm thinking I'm going to need to do one next week. What am I doing? So next week, the 30th, I'm doing another live at 12 o'clock UK time. I'm tending to do them all at the same time, all at 12. So did I say 10? It's 12 o'clock UK time next Friday. So if you fancy coming along, what would you like me to do? Is there anything particular you'd like me to cover? Do you want me to do a practical one, doing practical techniques? Do you want me to do question and answer like this? What are you interested in? Have a little note in the comments if you've got any particular desires or requests. Let's see. Let's see. So I'm going to stay around. Can anxiety have an effect on your posture? I feel really tense and badly postured a lot of the time. Kay is asking about that. Yes, absolutely. Because when you think about it, you're in protection. So you go like this. You become very tense. Your muscles, your shoulders are up, maybe tensed over, because you're looking at, I need to protect myself from this thing. So absolutely. So a lot of the techniques that I share can be really useful for that. Doing a body scan, getting used to checking in on yourself regularly throughout the day. Even if you set a little alarm for yourself and go, okay, where am I? How is my head? Am I up? Are my shoulders back? Am I relaxed? Am I softened? So yeah. Okay, let me have a look at these comments. I hope that's helpful. Thank you, Jay. I'm glad that you like my voice. That's good. Kellis. Oh God, let me put my glasses on so I get your name right. Kellis de Gale. I'd like to try something practical if possible. Cool, we can do that. And you've never done anything like this before, so yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? I've not done a practical one for a while. Emily says practical sessions are always really helpful, but happy with anything. Cool, that would be fine. Julie likes the question and answer format, so maybe we can do a little mixture. Hey, maybe we'll do that. We'll do a mixture of some breathing techniques, maybe some visualization techniques, some sort of physical stuff, as well as answering some questions. How would that be? Hopefully that would be helpful. And so do come along. If you can't make it next week, then follow me, maybe subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is completely free, and then you'll be able to see the live when it gets posted. And yeah, I think that's more or less it. I would like to say a massive thank you to Lynn for being my moderator today. Thank you, Lynn. I've seen that you've done loads and loads of work answering questions for people and being really supportive as always, you lovely person. So thank you to Lynn. Thank you to all of you for being here. If you've been here the whole time, then I am very impressed with your stamina. It's lovely to have had you here all the time. And if you've just dipped in and out, then that's amazing too. But I hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you if you followed me. Thank you for all your likes. And I will see you. Hopefully I'll have a bit more energy this week to be posting a few more actual TikToks. I've been absolutely terrible this week because I've just felt totally exhausted. It's been enough. All I could do is give my energy to my clients this week. So hopefully I have a nice relaxing weekend and I can be back posting TikToks again next week. But if not, I will see you on Friday anyway. So big hugs and love to all of you. I'm just going to hang around just to say goodbye to people individually, but cheerio and thank you. Oh, Angel Kate, don't worry, that's all right. That's all right. It'll be on the YouTube later, hopefully, so that's fine. Bye-bye, Ems. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Diamond Lady. My pleasure. Glad you enjoyed it. Oh, Emily, you felt the same as me, Emily Thomas. So, maybe I'm not just... Yeah, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone, but I hope that you feel a bit more energized next week too. Cheerio. Hope you have a wonderful weekend too. Emily Nerd Scribbler, have a lovely, relaxing weekend. Thank you for being here. Hayley, thank you for being here. Cheerio, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all next week or sooner. Bye-bye, everyone. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Bye.